everybody. My name is Juan Amaya, and welcome to my presentation. By a show of hands, my attention getter is how many can any of you name a band that belonged to the grunge music scene in the 90s? Now, let's pretend we're in a classroom and I can see a bunch of hands coming up, or I don't see any hands at all. But here it is. Grunge music is a movement of the 90s and how it became the genre that defined the decade. What is grunge? My thesis is the decade of the 90s was defined by the commercial success of an underground music scene that developed in Seattle, Washington, called grunge, reaching its apex with the releases of Nirvana's Nevermind, Pearl Jam's 10, Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger, and Alice in Chains' Dirt that defined the sounds of the genre. Now, you ask yourself, what is grunge? Well, grunge is an alternative rock genre and subculture that emerged in the mid 1980s in the state of Washington. Particularly in Seattle and nearby towns, it fuses elements of punk rock and heavy metal featuring the distorted electric guitar sound. In both genres, grunge typically uses electric guitar, bass guitar, drums, and vocals, with influences from indie rock bands like the Pixies. Its lyrics are often introspective, addressing themes such as social alienation, abuse, neglect, and addiction. And here are the influences that paved the way for the grunge rock scene that came in between the mid 80s and reached its apex in the 90s. Influences are like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and right here I have a scene from the movie Fight Club. Spoiler alert, if you've ever seen Fight Club, that's the last part of the movie. If you've never seen it, highly recommend. But the song Where Is My Mind by the Pixies is used on that movie. These bands were highly influential in the sound that came out of grunge with the heavy guitar, heavy vocals, just bouncing off the wall, guitar riffs and drums. Now, the Pixies is pivotal because Nirvana's Kurt Cobain literally actually says that he ripped off some of the sounds from the Pixies to be able to infiltrate it into their own sound. Let's go ahead and talk about the glam decade. In the 80s, it was very known as the glam decade because it had glam metal as its main genre for rock. It's exhibited here by Twisted Sister, Bon Jovi. You have Poison. You have Motley Crue. As you can see, was characterized by big hair, loud colors of makeup, spandex, all that good stuff. Glam metal suffered a decline in popularity in the early to mid 1990s as the grunge and alternative phenomena revolutionized hard rock, leading fans to shift towards a more natural and stripped down aesthetic. As a result, many of the most successful acts of the genre's 1980s heyday suddenly found themselves facing disbandment as their artists moved in another direction. That direction is grunge music, which came in and took over that void that was left after in the beginning of the 1990s. It always starts with Nirvana. Nirvana was an American rock band that was formed in 1987. Its members are Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dave Grohl. Their pivotal album is Nevermind, which was released on September 24th, 1981 with hit singles including Smells Like Teen Spirit, Come As You Are, Polly, and Something in the Way. To this day, this band is still popular. It's still used in mainstream. As you can see, I put it on here. In today's culture, just last year into 2022, the Batman used Something in the Way as in its soundtrack. So they're still very influential. They're still big. Another tidbit that I found interesting was that Smells Like Teen Spirit was actually a reference to Kurt Cobain's girlfriend's deodorant. So just imagine if she would have been wearing something like Old Spice or Secret. Would have had a song called Old Spice or Secret by Nirvana. Pearl Jam is another great band that came out in the 1990s. Its members are Eddie Vedder, Stone Gossard, Matt McCready, Matt Cameron, Jeff Ament. Pearl Jam released 10 on August 27, 1991. Hit singles include Even Flow, Alive, and Black. This band actually came together because of Mother Love Bone is the band that was Mother Love Bone was a band in the late 80s and early 90s. Unfortunately, their lead singer Angie Wood passed away. Chris Cornell, a singer from Soundgarden, came in and made a super group as a tribute to Andrew Wood. And from that tribute, they recruited Eddie Vedder, who in turn became the lead singer of Mother Love Bone members, but they created Pearl Jam. So it's kind of interesting to see how they came together. Soundgarden is the next band I'll be talking about. Soundgarden was a popular band in Seattle, Washington in 1984. Their uh, breakthrough release was Bad Motorfinger, released on October 8, 1981. Hit singles include Rusty Cage, Outshine, and Jesus Christ Pose. Another well-known album by them is Super Unknown, that has Spoonman and Black Hole Sun. Chris Cornell again was one of the main reasons why Pearl Jam was able to be created, because he brought them in to create Temple of the Dog. Their legacy is still great, big today, and is still highly influential. The other band I will speak of is Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains is a well-known American rock band from Seattle, Washington. It's formed in 1987. They had a big incorporation of big heavy metal sound into grunge music. They rose to fame in the early 1990s as part of the grunge movement. The pivotal albums of Alice in Chains is Dirt on September 29, 1992. His singles include Downhall Rooster, Dirt, and Wood. And it's still pivotal to this day. It's still active, even though Lane Staley, their lead singer, passed away in 2002. Legacy and crossover mainstream, as you can see, the clothing was a big deal. You had the flannel, you had the Doc Martens, you had the big baggy pants. In media, you had it being depicted in movies. Singles by Cameron Crowe was a big hit, and to this day, we'll still see the influences of grunge in today's society and in music. So in conclusion, the emergence of grunge music in Seattle during the 1990s marked a significant shift in popular music culture, with bands like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains achieving massive commercial success and helping to define the sound of the genre. This era will always be remembered as a pivotal moment in music history, and the legacy of grunge continues to influence and inspire musicians to this day. And with that, this is my reference page. I want to thank you guys for joining me in allowing me to inform you on grunge music of the 90s. You guys have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your semester. Thank you. Good night.